Today, I want to talk about something every entrepreneur faces, but few talk about in all honesty, failure. And I want to reframe it for you because failure isn't final. Failure is ultimately feedback. It is data. And when you say it that way, everything about the way you grow your business changes when you believe it. Here's the truth. The only people who never fail are the ones who never try. So if you're building a business, you're going to test things that don't work. You're going to launch campaigns that flop, hire people who weren't the right fit, or invest money sometimes in systems that you later absolutely regret. So that doesn't make you a bad leader or a bad entrepreneur. It ultimately makes you human. So the problem is most of us were conditioned to see failure as ultimately a dead end. In school, failing a math test meant you weren't smart enough. And in nearly every job, making a mistake means that you aren't capable enough. And when we carry that into our businesses, something has to change. So when something doesn't go as planned, the instinct is to internalize it. I failed because I'm not cut out for this, or maybe I should quit is a lot of the internal dialogue I hear all the time. But let's pause there. What if failure isn't proof of your limits, but proof that you're ultimately learning? Here's how I reframe failure in my own business and with my own clients. So, step one, treat failure as neutral data. Just like a scientist running experiments, your job as a founder is to test and gather information. We're doing this all the time. So when a launch doesn't convert, like instead of saying I failed, you can say, okay, this audience doesn't respond to the message. Interesting. What does that tell me about my next move? What does that tell me about my audience? How do I pivot? Step two, separate identity from outcome. This one is huge. So you are not your results. Let me repeat, you are not your results. You are not your revenue, and you are not your last transaction. So when something goes wrong, it's not a reflection of your worth. It's simply information about a strategy that didn't work this time around. So detaching identity from your outcome frees you from every type of shame and the opportunity to try again. Step three, ask better questions. So instead of asking, why did I fail? Ask, what can this teach me? What are the opportunities here? What will I do differently next time? The quality of your questions, as you've heard me say before, determines the quality of your growth. And here's the most important part. Every highly successful entrepreneur you admire has failed more times than you know. The difference is they didn't stop. They didn't let one failed idea or even 10 defeat them or define them. They adjusted, strategized, and kept moving forward. When you adopt this mindset, failure becomes your fuel. It sharpens your decision making and it makes you more resilient. And it keeps you from quitting on yourself too soon or when you're right around the corner from success. So the next time something doesn't work the way you had hoped, pause, breathe, and remind yourself failure is not final, it is feedback. It's just data, and it ultimately might just be the exact lesson you needed to hit your next breakthrough.